Hello, my name is Yaron. I'm the music director for the Center for Spiritual Living. And let's sing about freedom and birds. Free as a bird. It's the next best thing to be. Free as a bird. Free. Omen dry. Like a homing bird I fly. As a bird on wings. Whatever happened to the life that we once knew? Can we really live without each other? Word that we lose the touch that seemed to mean so much. It always made me feel so free as a bird. It's the next best thing to be, yeah. Free as a bird. Oh, 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 free. On Android, like a homing bird I fly. There's a bird on wings. Whatever happened to the life that we once knew? Can we really live without each other? Word that we lose the touch that seemed to mean so much. It really made me feel so free as a bird. It's the next best thing to be. Free as a bird. Free as a bird. Free as a bird.
How very lovely, Yaron.
Thank you.
And what perfect timing. Free as a bird. I don't know if you got to catch Richard Branson this morning take off right out into space with the other people in that wonderful spacecraft. So it reminds us of the possibilities of life, right? To be free, free
Yeah.
as a bird. Well, thank you for sharing that song with us in your sense of freedom today. So, ladies and gentlemen, Yaron Spiwak, our music director here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. You'll get to experience more of Yaron throughout our service, along with our guest musician, Omer Shaish, today, who we're so happy to have with us. So, we'll see you in a bit, Yaron. So, my name is Keith Cox, Reverend Dr. Keith Cox, and I am the spiritual leader here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Los Angeles. Good morning if you are all are joining us here on the West Coast, and it is morning. If it's not morning, then a big hello to you wherever you may be. And a big thank you for taking time out of your day to share with us here at the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles this time of community, this time of coming together, this time of remembering who we are as divine being as we navigate our humanity on a daily basis and a weekly basis and a thought by thought by thought basis. And so I honor you however you may be joining us, either through Zoom and or Facebook, or at a later date through our website and our YouTube channel. So once again, welcome to you all. I'm going to put on the screen now the beginning of our service from a technological perspective of our slideshow. And so we are the Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and I celebrate each and every one of you wherever you may be as we each move into a continuation of fulfilling and living out our vision statement here, which is supporting individuals finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And so the journey that I invite you to go on today, along with every day as you become more and more awakened in your life, is to become more personally self-empowered as we each, you and I, and all of life itself becomes more tuned into who we are as divine beings and the power that is imbued with us as this divine being. We come together each and every Sunday morning now in this technological format for well over a year now to not only be in community, but to be reminded of the power that exists within us. And it exists within each and every one of us equally. It's an impersonal power that is called light or life or the divine or the thing itself, or even that three-letter word, God. And so to honor that power, you can see on the screen this beautiful woman with the third eye lit up from within her. And let's take a moment and ignite that third eye within each and every one of us. And we do that through the act of namaste. It's a Sanskrit act, and it means the power within me. I bow to you from this power within me, the thing itself, God, light, life, wisdom. And so as we bow to each other, that gives us a moment to anchor into that power itself. And so the actual practice is putting your hands together in prayer position, bringing them to your heart chakra, raising them to your third eye, back down, bowing forward and saying out loud, Namaste. And so as a community, as I said before, we have come together on Sunday mornings and have come together now for well over 30 years in the land of Los Angeles, California, to remember who we are, but to also consciously use our power in a new way that makes a difference on our planet, to share this power that exists within us through our thoughts, our actions, our reactions, our interactions with the very thing itself. And because we live in a universe that is governed by spiritual law, as we fine-tune our awareness of ourselves as divine beings, human beings expressing our divinity, then we have the opportunity to share it with others and to support each other on their journey of finding their personal self-empowerment through a spiritual awakening. And so that's what we're here to do today. And that simple act of namaste that we began with just a moment ago gives us that opportunity to do that. And then to consciously go about life when we are out navigating those everyday components of life by remembering that we're here to make a difference. And we do that in how we share our divinity. And so we're going to open our service today with a ritual. And the ritual is called calling in the light. The light, which is one of those qualities of the divine that we're all imbued with. And as the music plays behind us, let's take a deep breath in and anchor ourselves into this awareness and the light that exists within us. As we focus on the light of the orb on the screen, let's remember that today we perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples and all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. The purpose of this ritual is to draw into our gathering this morning, a conscious awareness of our oneness and the qualities that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. Let's just feel the presence of that spiritual truth within us that we possess as complete expressions of the divine. And so, as we feel the vibration shift during this experience, may we become ever more aware of the light of life that exists in and as all expressions of life, which includes you and it includes me. The affirmation that I have for us this morning is one we've heard before, and I think it bears repeating, which is this: gratitude has a way of changing your perspective and leaves you open to receiving the blessings that are within each day. Let's all take a moment and align ourselves with the blessing of awareness, the blessing of our presence, the blessing of the ability to choose, and then to choose to be grateful for all of these and more. And so in this philosophy and faith and way of life known as the science of mind, we're taught and practiced that as we align ourselves with these spiritual truths, they become more rooted in our consciousness. And we do that through accepting them as a reality. And so I invite you to say out loud, I accept, I receive, I believe that through my choices of gratitude, I magnify the blessings of life itself. One of those blessings that we're imbued with is the quality of peace. And so as we collectively sing the song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, Yaron will guide us through that. I invite you to be grateful for the role that we each play in propagating peace on earth. Oh, I'm sorry, calling in the light is what I have on the screen. Yaron, take us on what journey of the song that you have ready for us.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment with peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me, and let it begin with me.
And so I affirm with the spiritual mind treatment for each one of us that it is, indeed has begun with us right now. peace, that purposeful energy which activates conscious evolution. And so I know for us individually and collectively that we are using our consciousness today in a way that is not only bringing forth a greater sense of freedom within us, but one that is anchored within us in a way that is an impetus for us to share it in a new way, to embrace our freedom in a new way today. And we do that by letting go of anything within us that is steeped in any idea, concept, or belief that is contrary to our spiritual truth that peace is present within us, just as we are as a complete expression of the divine right now. Please join me in anchoring the spiritual mind treatment into the creative law of life by saying together, and so it is. Thank you. And Yaron, thank you for that wonderful new rendition of Let There Be Peace on Earth. And please forgive me for putting the wrong slide on the screen. It's a fun morning of living with the organic nature of life today. And so as I stated earlier, one of our fam, the CSL-LA fam, is with us as a guest musician today, Omer Shaish, who is just a delight for all of us. We love having him here. He's joining us from some far off background screen. We've been discussing this morning rehearsals, trying to figure out where that is, and Omer thinks it's just made up. It's nowhere specifically. So
I think it's a made-up city, but if anyone can figure it out, please send us a letter and we'll send you a shirt.
or you could just put it in the chat window. So you still may get a shirt. So
Yeah, you can still get a shirt.
you still get a shirt. So Omer, take us away on your first song.
Okay, let's go back to 1996 with this beautiful classic that will take us on a flight. I used to think that I could not go on, and nothing now was nothing but a song. But now I know the meaning of true love. I'm leaning on the everlasting arms. If I can see it, then I can do it. If I'll just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. See, I was on the verge of breaking down. Sometimes silence can seem so loud. There are miracles in life I must achieve. But then I know it starts inside of me. Oh, if I can see it, then I can be it. If I'll just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. I see me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. 'Cause I believe in me and all of you. Oh, if I can see it, then I can do it. If I'll just believe it, there's nothing to it. I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky. I think about it every night and day. Spread my wings and fly away. I believe I can soar. See me running through that open door. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly. I believe I can fly.
And fly you did. So wonderful.
Certainly hope so. Thank you.
Yes, very, very, very nice. Thank you. Thank you. So let's all give Omer a round of applause from the privacy of our own home, and you can take it as you can hear it from me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you
Thank you.
again
Look forward
soon.
to hearing your second song after my message. Right. So, as we continue in the vein of freedom being our theme for the month, Let Freedom Ring is our theme for the month of July. I'm going to begin by reading yesterday's text, A New Thought for the Day. That was the quote was written from Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, known as Saint-Exupéry, who was a French writer, poet, and interestingly enough, a pioneer in aviation. And here's the quote: "I know but one freedom, and that freedom, and that is the freedom of the mind. I know but one freedom, and that is the freedom of the mind." That's what we're going to look at and listen to this morning, information about the freedom of the mind. In the lower portion of that text that went out yesterday morning on my daily new thought for the day, I encouraged everyone to stop. And I'm going to encourage each of us to do this right now, to stop, take a deep breath in, and do a self check in and ask ourselves, are you feeling free or enslaved to false ideas, fear of the unknown, or what is about to happen in life? And take another deep breath in and affirm audibly or just in your mind your oneness with spirit, that place where we are the most free. And the greatest way to do that is to just simply say, I am free. I'd like to read to us this morning from The Spiritual Meaning of Freedom. That is a translated talk by Dr. Ernest Holmes, who is the founder of the teachings of the Science of Mind. Many of you may have heard this transcript before. I use it in our newsletter, either last week or the week before. But I want us to hear it today with a new lens of knowing that we are free, having had the visual that has been shared with us, not only if you watched Richard Branson this morning fly off into space, but through the beautiful lyrics of the songs that both Yaron and Omer have sung to us, and just give yourself permission to go on a journey, a flight, if you will, of mind, of hearing the words of Dr. Ernest Holmes. This talk was given on a Sunday morning in the Wiltern Theater here in Los Angeles on July 4th in 1937. I believe the meaning is most applicable today as well. He writes, ever since the dawn of civilization, ever since the first humans began to grasp the significant fact that they were individual beings in a universe that seemed to be more or less hostile to them, the entire search of the human mind, its whole endeavor, has been to get free from evil, from bondage and the shackles of lack, want, fear, superstition, uncertainty, pain, disease, poverty, and the fear of the hereafter. And because of this, human systems exist. Organized philosophies spring up, sciences develop, educational systems are conducted, collective security is sought after, and religions are formulated to allay the fear of humankind relative to the soul. The great demand in the world today is for a sense of security, freedom, and liberty. But we must be very certain that we do not swap one image of bondage for another. I've read a large part of the religious and philosophic history of the world, and I've noticed that almost invariably when the world traded one kind of religion for another, it didn't get a good deal. The Pilgrim Fathers who came to the shores of New England came to worship God in their own way, but the moment they got there, everybody in the colony worshiped God in the way that the strong-minded members of that colony decided was the way to worship God. That's not freedom. Even in our newer religions of the last 75 or 100 years, meaning at the turn of the 20th century, very frequently we meet people who say they have now found the truth. And then, unfortunately, a large majority of them disclose that they merely have found an idea they liked and called it the truth because they were egotistical, self-conscious, self-righteous people with an attitude of condemnation toward others. That is not the truth. In studying one system of thought after another that has transpired in the last 7,000 years of human history, I have noted how extremely difficult it is for the human mind to conceive liberty without license, without egotism, and we can only give birth to freedom when we have conceived liberty. True freedom, true liberty, has something cosmic behind it. If the time has come that modern science has proved that we cannot move a piece of paper without changing the balance of the entire physical universe, if we have come to the place where we know that the stuff of which our physical bodies are made is the same stuff of which the planets are made, if we've come to the place where such a profound unity is maintained that physicists believe there is no such thing as disunity in the physical world, then we can easily see what the great spiritual leaders of the ages meant when they told us of that greater unity in which we all live and move and have our being. And the idea of freedom itself is tied up with the true concept of the unity of good. If our nature is one, and God is one, and we know that God must be one, for the universe cannot be divided against itself, then we are all tied up into an indivisible unity. We have to get back to this unity to find the meaning of freedom. We shall have to get back to this unity to find the meaning of freedom. Nothing in any part of the cosmic whole could be considered freedom that would destroy the liberty of some other part. That would be self-destruction, would it not? As Jesus pointed out 2,000 years ago, that would be a kingdom divided against itself. The kingdom of God is one kingdom, or whatever words you want to use regarding that. So we know that true liberty must spring, then, from true unity. We are bound into a supreme unity. We are tied into an immutable law of irrevocable cause and effect. That is unity moving into action. I'm going to read that again because it's such a powerful and profound statement. We are bound into a supreme unity. We are tied into an immutable law of irrevocable cause and effect. That is unity moving into action. Cause and effect is something that happens as a result of unity. Consequently, we are one even while we are many. And since each one of us is a part of the whole, if we seek to destroy each other, we only ultimately hurt ourselves. That is the greatest lesson of life. He goes on to write, freedom then will come only in such a degree as we no longer do anything that hurts anyone, but that does not mean we have to become spiritual or intellectual doormats. I do not believe in that. Thank you, Ernest. Nothing in my belief causes me to feel that God or the creative principle wants me to suffer for myself or for anyone else. I do it. I've always done it. Perhaps I always shall in this world, but I know that that is wrong. How can the Supreme Being desire my suffering without imposing that suffering? And what kind of universe has a God who suffers and imposes suffering as a changeless reality? The whole theology and religious reaction of people who believe that arises out of morbidity and fear and superstition and nothing else. Well, it is not so, and still we suffer. Why? Because we do not understand. We might say that the world suffered darkness until somebody discovered electricity. It suffered crawling around on the face of the earth until technology was developed so that we could fly and drive. And we witnessed technology in a new way even this morning. He goes on to write, it suffers limitation not because the infinite imposes limitation, but because the world does not understand its freedom. And when it begins to develop its freedom, seldom does it do it directly. It generally creates a new bondage. When we kill the old devil, we're more likely to give birth to a new and more subtle one. War is more to be feared than ever because we have more knowledge without more wisdom. And final freedom will come only as it is tied into divine wisdom. Well, what is divine wisdom? He writes. He answers that question by saying, I'm no prophet, but I would suggest that divine wisdom must be as simple and profound as this. Jesus said, the kingdom of God cannot be divided against itself. I think that is all there is to divine wisdom. The kingdom of God cannot and will not be divided. So long as I will seek to hurt, I will be hurt. We desire freedom, he goes on. We do not like evil. We do not like pain. We do not like poverty. We do not like unhappiness. Why should we? None of us likes to go to bed and worry all night and get tired out in the morning. God does not impose it on us. Why do we do it? Because we sense freedom. We sense liberty. We sense God. Yet, out here in the objective world, we experience limitation. And the argument is between what we feel ought to take place and what we see and the world experiences. It seems as though we are two people. One that experiences evil, the lack of good, and one that knows there should be no evil. or whatever we are looking at in life that is contrary to our divine nature, I'm adding. Ernest goes on to state in this transcript, the evolution of freedom in the human mind is a slow process. Many movements in the world that claim to be seeking liberty only produce new kinds of bondage. We should be aware of them. They are born out of the idea of depression. They are born out of the spirit of bondage. If we want freedom, we must understand that freedom can never come by the imposition of a will of the majority, of the minority over a majority. It is born finally and only in such a degree as some system is devised whereby individuals are allowed complete freedom, so long as they do not, in their freedom, impose bondage on someone else. And so today, I invite us to open ourselves up to this one kingdom, this life of unity, this choice that we get to make to evolve into a freer being than ever before, not because of how we choose to live our lives, but as a result of the fine-tuning that we do with our consciousness, lining it up to our divinity. By allowing this divine wisdom that exists within us, that we are imbued with, out to play, if you will. By letting this innate wisdom that is within us be the foundation from how we move through life, and letting it be the guiding force. Well, that seems like a big call. And how do we do that? I think the way to do that is to choose to be clearer and clearer and clearer to the best of our ability. In other words, to have clarity around the intention, the objective, to live life from this place of unity. Clarity is defined as the quality of being coherent and intelligible. Coherent. Imagine if we were living in a state of coherence with our unity at all times. Coherence is a vibrational frequency that we are all emitting at all times. But the coherence of a vibrational frequency that is out of clarity is one that is aligned with its unity. And so, how do we begin to do that today? Well, I think we begin to do that today by having the willingness and the intention and the practice of having a new thought around the possibility that exists within us to live freely in unity. To have a new thought, a new state of awareness in regards to being coherent, being aligned, being clear in the frequency that we're lining up with and emitting and sending out into life, knowing that what we put out comes back to us, no matter what we've thought prior to now, no matter what moments we've had of fear or lack or poverty or suffering, that we get to begin anew right now, to stretch our mind in a new way. I'm pretty sure that in 1937, when that talk was given, the majority of the people that were walking the planet, and specifically in the modern world at that time, would have never been able to conceive of individuals in a very private, business-like way, if you will, would be able to reach the outer limits and go to inner space, if you will. And yet that happened today. Sort of a big deal, sort of not a big deal. But what it shows us is the possibility of where new ideas that are held in mind as a possibility to become a probability can be made manifest. You and I have had these experiences in our life where we've expanded our mind And then let that, what had one time probably been a ceiling of we couldn't, then move through that ceiling and allow that ceiling to become the floor from where we think. And so today, let's you and I commit to having a stretched mind with a new idea in regards to unity and our freedom. Oliver Wendell Holmes says this regarding this concept. He goes, one's mind, once stretched by a new idea, never regains its original dimensions. Right now, let's ask ourselves, how willing are we to open our mind and to stretch our mind in a way to think in a more broad perspective, in a more unified manner than ever before, and then open ourselves up to the possibility of what we have previously thought impossible in our life could be made manifest. Well, the only way for that to happen is to raise our vibrational field, to raise and tune into our coherence with the frequency of a higher frequency. This speaks to the work of Dr. David Hawkins that many of you know that I just love, and who created a system in life to measure the vibrational frequency relative to the map of consciousness that he created. And through this process, his first book was called Power versus Force. And the concept is at the lower vibrational frequencies, we live in force. In other words, we live life in struggle. We live life from that perspective of living in a state of suffering, pretty much physically, but physically as a result of what is taking place mentally relative to our beliefs, our ideas, our ideology, what we've been taught, what we believe in what we've been taught. But on our journey of finding personal self-empowerment through our spiritual awakening, we have the possibility to tune into a higher frequency. And I believe for each and every one of us, because we line up with this philosophy, faith, and way of life known as the science of mind, we're already on this journey of vibrating at a higher frequency. But we also know that we have the possibility to move into a higher vibrational frequency, that where we live from power, not a place of struggle and force. And we do that by living in that state of the qualities of the divine, of peace, power, beauty, joy, light, life, love, and wisdom, but also through the levels of acceptance of oneness. Acceptance of oneness. This is living in a state of harmony. In the map of consciousness that Hawkins created, that is, the bottom level is 0, the highest level is 1,000 of the field of consciousness. When we choose to live in a state of awareness, of harmony, we're at about a 350, moving up into a level of reasoning, and then of love and joy and peace, and then enlightenment. And so you and I have before us today the opportunity to choose to raise our vibrational frequency and to give out into the universe a new meaning to not only our life, but all of life itself. The song, Let There Be Peace on Earth, that we sang together a while ago, even though I put the wrong slide up. The lyrics to that song, which used to be sung in the churches of religious science, and I'm sure Ernest and crew sang it many times. The lyrics are this: let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. You and I can engage in that, enact that by breaking down with the acronym, or using the acronym of purposeful energy activates conscious evolution. That's what we're speaking of here, is by living in conscious, as a conscious evolutionist, if you will. We do that by raising our vibrational frequency, which means that we're looking to move beyond just harmony and acceptance, but get to that place of enlightenment to the best of our ability. And that can only transpire when we choose to live in unity. And so by having a purposeful energy of our vibrational frequency, knowing that that activates a conscious evolution, then we then can literally put into play the lyrics of the song and let that be the guide for us in life, and then shift what's taking place in our life, ultimately shifting all of life before us. Because remember, when we move that piece of paper, everything in the planet is impacted. And so the lyrics are, let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. So let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. And so let peace begin with me, and let this be the moment now that with every breath I take, let this be my solemn vow. In other words, let's make a commitment to live this way, to then take each moment and to live each moment in peace eternally. For let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. I know for myself, as I say those lyrics, already I feel a quality of peace within me. And I'm hoping and trusting that that's the same for you. But as we raise the stakes and realize we're not going for the feeling of peace, we're tuning into a purposeful energy to activate us into a conscious evolution. And so as we take each moment, as we take each breath, as we live each moment with the intention of evolving into a higher framework, then we are on that pathway of awakening. Now, years ago, I learned that we go through life having our moments of spiritual awakening, and so oftentimes it's believed that they happen either through inspiration or desperation. And so we have before us an opportunity right now to make a covenant and a commitment that from this moment forward, our continual awakenings are a result of inspiration, that we're releasing the suffering and the strife, and that we're committing and making a covenant with ourselves to live in this state of awareness of the truth that we are free right now. Free from the struggle, free from the strife, free from the suffering, free from the old ideas. And through this openness, we are now buoyed up into a new consciousness, a new state of mind, a new awareness. And let's let that then be the floor from where we grow. And so let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And let's ask ourselves, as we move beyond the message and into the next song that Omer is going to sing for us, is what we've been holding on to worth the space it's taking up? Or are we willing to take a ride into space by going on a journey in our mind that previously had been perceived as inconceivable? Let's have a great ride together. Thank you, and happy Sunday. And so we're going to bring Omer back to sing his second song to continue this journey of awakening. Welcome back.
Thank you. There's something shifting in the air, if I'm not mistaken. Dust is clearing everywhere, memories awaken, my feet on the runway. It's a beautiful day, I look to the sky now. I'm lighting my way, I'm flying on my own, on the wings of your love. I'm flying on my own, on the wings of your love. I'm flying on my own, I'm flying on my own. carry me anywhere I want them to. If you could see what I can see, that nothing's blocking my view. I look to the sky now. It's a beautiful day. I'm flying on my own, on the wings of your love. I'm flying on my own, on the wings of your love. I'm flying on my own. I'm flying on my own. I'm free like an eagle, soar like an eagle, sailing the winds of change, on the winds of change, on the winds of change. My feet on the runway. It's a beautiful day. I look to the sky now. I'm lighting my way. I'm flying on my own. I'm flying on my own. Flying, 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 flying on my own. I'm flying, flying, flying on my own. Flying on my own. Flying on my own.
You are vibing this morning, dude. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. What a great song selection. Great presentation. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, always wonderful. Always wonderful. Thank you, Omer. And so now we have the opportunity at this time in our service to support our community financially. Want to let you know that all of your support is deeply appreciated and acknowledged. And the ways to do that as we continue on our journey as a community of finding our own personal self-empowerment collectively is put on the screen. And those ways are, you can go to our website, csl-la.org, and click on donate, which is a great resource, as well as the app in the App Store, which is Center for Spiritual Living Los Angeles, and follow the prompts through there, or mail in a check, which our address is on the screen, at 1200 North La Brea Avenue, West Hollywood, California 90038. Or you can call me directly, and my number's on the screen, and we can take it from there. And so let's go through and sing along to our conscious giving song called Love Is My Decision. Yaron's going to take us through that, and let's all take a moment and support our community financially. Thank you.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, so show me how. Love is my decision, yes. My decision, right here, right now. Love is my decision, yeah. My decision, right here, right now.
Thank you, Yaron, for that beautiful rendition of Love Is My Decision. And so let's all affirm and know together that the abundance of the universe is who and what we are. And so we allow it to flow freely through us. We are free to express this abundance in all of its glory, giving and receiving, staying in the flow of good. That is our inherent right. We let it be as we say together. Amen. And so it is. Thank you all. So my weekly midweek morning meditations continue this week. Wednesday morning between 8:30 and 9 o'clock. We'd like to invite you all to join us. The information's on the screen. You can also get that on our website as well as our weekly e-newsletter. It's a time to come together and anchor yourself into that spiritual awareness, that remembrance that love is not only our decision, but that we are inherently and innately free. And so I invite you to participate in that, as well as you can find past meditations on our website, as well as on our YouTube channel and on the app in the App Store. A big thank you to our musicians this morning. So Yaron Spiwak, who is our music director, and Omer Shaish joining us. Thank you, gentlemen, both for your talent and your gifts and your consciousness. And we are back with The Unknown City, and it disappeared. A big thank you there. Technology, man, is doing some fun, funky stuff today. And then a big thank you to Robert Hensley, our social media gentleman slash guru slash creative individual, as well as the administrative assistant and our Facebook connector to us all on YouTube. And a big thank you to Travis Smith, our audio guru technician, who got his hands full with the way technology's been acting in the last few days. Something going on out there in the ozones of the universe. A big thank you to all of you for being here as well and contributing to the collective known as CSL-LA. Know that you are celebrated and honored and blessed for being just who you are. A reminder that we have a weekly newsletter that goes out weekly, goes out first part of the week. Hopefully you're getting it and there's great information there and you are enjoying that. If not, you can sign up for that on our website. Please follow us on our social media, Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. Also a reminder that we have licensed practitioners available if you'd like to seek guidance through one of those. They're trained to help you find that freedom within and live from that place of oneness. That information is all on the previous aforementioned methods of communication and websites that I've given out to you. A reminder that a daily text goes out called A New Thought for the Day each morning at 7:30 a.m., which is a great way to start the day. I encourage you to make sure you're getting that and passing it along. And if you're not, you can reach out to me or Robert in the office and we can make sure you're added to that list. A reminder that next Sunday from 12:30 to 4 o'clock, we have a community gathering at the Roxbury Park in Beverly Hills. It's what we're calling a picnic. It's really just a time to come together. I want to make sure that we're all clear that unlike in previous picnics where we hosted the picnic with drinks and table decorations and all of that type of stuff, that's not happening this time. This is just an opportunity for us to come together. If you'd like food or drink, feel free to bring your own, and we will gather together. There's no alcohol on the premises, and there had been a limit of 25, but that limit has been lifted. So feel free to come and commune and be safe. And we're also encouraging that you are vaccinated, and if you are not, make sure that you wear a mask on site. And that's where we're at. So without further ado, we will close with a meditation. And if you're joining us through Zoom, you can stay on and we can turn our cameras on and say a big hello to each other. And we will say a goodbye to those of you on Facebook after the meditation / spiritual mind treatment. So thank you all for being here. And so if it feels comfortable to you, you can close your eyes. And I invite you to let your imagination take you out into space. As far as your inner eye can take you out into the cosmos. and feel the connection. For all the energy in the cosmos is within you and within me. It's not divided. It's unified. We are one with and as it, so we too are this oneness. And imbued within us are limitless possibilities. And so we tap into those right now. Beginning to feel the shift in our vibrations and affirming that through the coherence of consciousness, we align with the highest vibration possible, God. And it's from here we move forward. And let it be. And so it is. Have a fantastic day and a fantastic week, and continue to know who you are and share your blessings with every single one.